Welcome to Identity Unboxed, where we provide mentorship and promote representation for Black professionals in the advancement of the Black community.
We are seeking guidance from exceptional Black leaders, scholars, and professionals with expertise in their respective fields.
We hope to foster a space that promotes authenticity, inclusivity, and restoration for our listeners while exploring the intersection of our personal and professional lives.
This project is a culmination of our lived experiences as young Black professionals to transform our life trajectories, to overcome adversity and reach triumph.
Our intention is to inspire you on your path to discovering your purpose. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Black people represent 14.2% of the population, but we are underrepresented when it comes to employer-owned firms in the U.S. Only 2.4% of businesses are Black-owned, and that was in 2020. As a woman in the LGBTQ plus community, have you faced any challenges as a business owner here in Seattle, given the scarcity of those in your field with this shared identity? And just if you could expand on how your identity has your choices.
You know, honestly, I think the biggest obstacle was in the very beginning of opening because of people not understanding what was happening that fast, right? All they see was like, oh, this white guy, he's trying to take over her, all the extra stuff without knowing, right? That was honestly the biggest obstacle. Being who I am and embracing who I am has allowed for other Black, queer people to feel like that's a safe space. That's a safe space. I'm not going to be judged when I walk in there, right? So the challenges hasn't come from being who I am as much as who I decided to go on business with, right? Them not understanding the ultimate goal. Again, I don't need you to understand the goal. The support that I get from different people. I mean, and the thing that's crazy too, I have watched people come into the restaurant. I watch little kids grow, and now they're like 7 and 8, from little babies, which is crazy. Like, oh my God, look at you, to, guys transitioning to women transitioning to men. I've watched this in time, but when they come in, they don't feel judged because of how I saw them from when they first started coming in, right? So for me, the biggest obstacle is people's own individual hatred for what it is that they don't understand. But it doesn't affect the bottom line. It really doesn't. Like, because the people that come in, they're coming because they don't have these biases, right? They're coming in because I heard you guys had this amazing sandwich. I heard about this. I heard about that, right? The obstacles really have come from, sadly, a lot of my own people who refuses to come. Then I had people who come, like, especially the older generation, and they'll like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I heard. And I'm like, you still going off the stuff that you heard? You ain't get your own research. We in technology age. All you gotta do is Google who owns fast chicken and waffles. You'll see me pop up. You'll also see Marcus pop up too. And oh, well, then that just X's it out. And I'm like, how does that though? I'm almost like, how? So that erases my Blackness? I'm Black. I'm an owner. It's Black owned. When you go and spend your money at Walmart, which a lot of people who are in opposition to whatever it is I'm doing, whoever they are, they spend a lot of their money at Walmart with these billionaires who have a whole different force. If there was a nuclear bomb, they're gonna be okay. We're not. Okay, but you don't question that. When you go to McDonald's and get that food, hey, who owns McDonald's? But when it's broken down, because again, it's how we've been, our minds have been programmed to dissect and pick at it, as opposed to being like, man, that is so dope that you're at back then, you're the GM, and I'm glad that you got this space. You know what I mean? I hope to see you be successful and to get ownership. It wasn't that. It was like, oh, you just this. Oh, we're like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna. And at that point, I knew I had to keep my energy and hold it close because I knew that they were trying to suck everything I was trying to put into the success of this business away from me. So I didn't put my time and energy into that. I put my time and energy into building and growing this business because I knew and I understood what the goal was. That wasn't their goal. It was my goal, you know. So whoever came to support are the same people that still support. And they're the same people who still send people to come into support. But people stand outside and wait to dine in during brunch, I don't have to pay for that marketing. When people drive down the street, they're like, what's going on in there? When I drive by certain businesses, I be like, hey, babe, put this restaurant in here because there's something going on in there because there's people standing outside waiting. That's something that you can't even pay for. But because people come in and they're willing to wait and they'll stand outside because they want that good old brunch, man, that's free marketing. And that's a lot of people don't understand. I've already did it in the inside to make the people want to come and then to make them want to wait. They wait because either they've been there, they heard about it, or whatever it is. And then they stand outside of the business. Check that off. That didn't cost me nothing. That's already been invested. It's already been invested into the menu. It's been invested into the vibe. It's been invested into the energy. But see, when you don't understand business, you don't understand marketing, you don't understand what success means to you. Because when I did music back in the day, our biggest thing was like, we had to redefine what success means, right? Because success to me might not be the same thing to either one of you or to anyone listening, right? You have to define what it means to you. And once you understand that, and once you understand that I'm a commodity, like I am money. Wherever I go, I can make money. Just being who I am, right? I can do that. I understand the value of who I am. I'm just happen to do it right now in this business. But outside of that, I've done it in different places. And when I DJ, okay, you know, I know how to do that. Why? I've been a part of the culture. I grew up in a household playing vinyl. It was music. It was food. It was atmosphere. I understood how to do what I'm doing now at the age of 5 years old and didn't even realize I was being trained up for what I will be currently doing right now. All them house parties that my parents would throw and my aunties and uncles would come, and there was this big old bar, and then my dad gutted out the basement and made a rec room, which when I was in high school ended up being my room. That was a big room, and I'm the youngest of 7, so everybody else was gone. So I got this big old house, and parents is, you know, working and gone and stuff, so like, I had a great time. But anyhow, being 5 years old and making drinks for your aunties and uncles, like, hey, baby, go over there and make me a vodka and soda. And you you see the bar, like, which one's vodka? Because I don't know. I'm fine. What the fuck is vodka? The one with the blue bottle, okay. You pour that, you get a cup, you put some ice, and I've already seen y'all do this. I put some vodka in there, and I mix it with the soda water. I bring it to you, and you give me 50 cents. What?
That's training.
So I'm saying I didn't even realize until some years ago I was doing an interview, and I was like, you know what? Honestly, my first training for this happened during a time when it was Black Seattle. It was Black Seattle because I was born in 69. So in the 70s and the 80s, Central District, black, blackity, black, black. All the stories from my parents telling me about Jackson Street and the after hours that they was doing before I was even born, and listening to recordings and of them having these tapes and going and listening to Ray Charles, who they will always call RC, and he would come to the after hours. And I have an actual audio recording of my mom and my dad and my aunt. And my dad had got it. It was like 69, so I was born in 69. And they're sitting there recording themselves. But in the background, you hear Ray Charles and the band jamming. But at the table, you just hear them drinking and ordering drinks and talking shit and doing it, right? And I'm like, that's where I come from. Those are my people. That I come from a history of black people entertaining. So I grew up in a household where that's what I saw. You know what I mean? Wasn't nobody fussing, wasn't nobody getting cussed out. I mean, they probably was cussing when they was playing cards and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? But it wasn't no fight. They was in suits coming to the house party. You know what I mean? Because like 50s and the 70s look different than the 50s in 2024. Because I'm 54 and I don't look nothing how they was looking back then. You know, I'm from the hip hop era. So you look at me, I'm like, okay, yeah, you look like you did that hip hop stuff. Damn right. That's my generation, right? But what I understood, how I grew up and where I grew up at, and in the communities I grew up in, the importance of that being on that corner and me being there, that's legacy. Can't nobody take that away from me. Can't nobody even challenge it. No one can even contest it because it is what it is. It is my thing. It doesn't matter who I did it with and how I made it happen. It's happening still. After COVID, in the midst of COVID, I tell people I've opened up that restaurant 3 times. 2015, the grand opening, COVID, takeout only, and then the reopening once we let people coming back in to dine in. That's 3 openings of the same business within 9 years. And we haven't even made the year 9 years. That's coming up in August, right? But that's the mentality of a winner. That's the mentality of a champion. It wasn't about Marcus. It was about me.
And
Can no one else run that corner like me?
And you know what? I'm sorry, but it needs to be.
Yep, it needs to be said, and this might be a controversial opinion, but I think what you just said, I needed to hear, because people, might look at it and be like, oh, like, it's not fully Black owned because of who you're doing business with. But at the end of the day, you did what you needed to do to uplift something for the Black community. Whether, you had some investors that were non-Black, you're co-owning with someone that's non-Black, you still had a vision and you utilized your resources, your connections to do what you needed to do to bring it to the community. So if people who are not showing up, and supporting you have something to say, who cares,
I don't. I'm going to tell you don't care. Pick me. I don't. Because, again, at the end of the day, I understand what the goal is. And it's like when you don't, my dad used to always love to say this when we were younger, grow up in your mind. Man, what? You young. He always said, keep on living. You'll see. Okay. So when you like 7, 8, we as kids in the block, we just running around kicking in. Someone do something. Everyone, this is the thing. Everybody, all the kids who live in the house, the kids who live down the street, everybody get in the house. Now he's talking to everybody. The phone ring, he pick up the phone. Let me call you back. I'm talking to these kids. Hang on. We be like, yo, talk on the phone. But he was dropping jewels. He was telling us things about how to see something differently. Yeah, you're young and your mind is still going to develop. But if you're going to get to a certain point with the things that I'm telling you, you're going to see and you're going to understand it. And once you do and you understand that, you have a choice to accept it and grow, look at it and avoid it, or whatever, right? So the whole keep on living, the whole growing up in your mind mentality, for me, it was just like, I'm not doing this for the masses, right? I'm doing it for the people that want to come and support, because I cannot do everything that's going to save Black people. Black people individually, we got to save ourselves first. We got to see that we need saving. There's a lot of folks that don't probably need no saving. Okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm not doing what I am doing because I'm Black for Black people. When I wrote music, I didn't write music for Black people. I'm a Black woman writing music. So whoever enjoys the music, enjoys the music. I'm a Black woman who's a business owner in a community that used to be all Black, that has changed and is still very well gentrified, but I'm still doing it because it's what I wanted to do. It was my goal. It was something that I wanted to have. And I happen to have someone who could support that dream. At the same time, I could support their dream. At the same time, we can move forward and be successful at what we do. And ultimately, Everyone wants the success that they see for themselves. I'm not mad about who's mad. I'm not mad about who don't come and support. I don't feel any sort of way towards any of that. What I do feel is that I have an obligation to keep the people that are on my payroll employed. I have an obligation to give great service and to also share the story of the community that I grew up in, that I'm still reside in, that I have a business in, to see it change and to see something different change within it and still have it. However people look at it, if they feel like, oh, well, it's not all black owned, so therefore it's not black owned, okay, that's your opinion. You know what I mean? But I still challenge them, be like, well, what do you own? What do you own a percentage of? What do you even have? What are you contributing? What are you doing? What are you showing to the next generation and how they can be successful? Because what I'm gonna tell the kids is like, and I have to speak at my at Garfield tomorrow, right? For BLM, to talk about being a business owner. It's just like I'm a bulldog. You know what I mean? I went to this school, and what I will share with the kids is like, set goals and believe in yourself. Even when other people don't believe in you, you got to believe in you. Because once you let somebody get into your head and have you start feeling like you can't do that, then you feel like you can't do that. But once you believe in yourself and you feel that you can do that, and you get one person to say, I believe in you, and you can do that, that's all a person like me needs. And necessarily didn't even necessarily need the other person, but it's always good to hear. It's always good to hear those positive affirmations, because the negative ones are always there. It's always like the crab in the barrel mentality. Let me pull you down. Let me pull you down. Oh, wait, you about to get it out. But like, you don't know that crab at the top, you about to get thrown in some hot water. You might want to stay in the middle and watch what happens to that crab, and then find your way out and then run. Right. You know what I mean? But like, my thing is, it's like, I honestly have love for everybody. And like I said about the parties I would have at my house, whether it be my black friends, my white friends, my Asian friends, to having a business that, I co-own with someone who's white, to having people that come into my restaurant that are black, they're white, they're Asian, people come from Switzerland, Ireland, from Europe, who ain't never had a biscuit. Because, your biscuits are cookies. They get it. What is this? They want to move to the States because of what we making at the restaurant. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I'm putting my stamp down. Like, as a 54-year-old black woman who has done the things that I've always wanted to do, that I've dreamed about doing. So, like, when I was younger, and it was hip-hop, and it was like the music, like, oh, my God. Like, I felt it. I understood it. Like, it just, like, transcended who I was. Like, yo, this is dope. Okay, how do I see myself in that? High school, okay, kind of dibble, dabble, 87 Run DMC, we all on our pole stairs, we feeling ourselves, right? Fashion, Adidas big, and that. We doing our thing. Then you keep growing, and then it's like, it came back again for me. It came back full circle. Then it was Jasiri. It was the music. When Jonathan and I met and we talked on the phone literally for like 3 hours. And then it was like we had so much in common. And then to figure out we only lived 2 blocks from each other. Again, that's the universe. And from there, less than a month later, we threw one of the biggest parties, 1994, same day that OJ's running in the back of the car. We throw this party in the U District. It was the last day of school for Seattle Public Schools. And this is before Serato. So the whole set is DJed with vinyl. It's an all ages event. Now, even at this point, I'm like, okay, we secured the venue. People are going to get thirsty. What did I do? I went to the store. I got a bunch of water. I got a bunch of soda. This is a whole separate from your entry to get in, which was like maybe $5. Because I had to pay the little $700, but we made way more than that. So I also had soda and water for sale. I didn't need to go to college to understand how to market to people because I know it's gonna get hot. People gonna get thirsty. They don't have this ain't there. We just went into space. Even made more money. So to be someone, I mean, I could be in marketing, honestly, but I didn't need to go to school for that. That's just the innate ability because of where I grew up and from my people, and I understand how to hustle.
Exactly.
Eskimos still need ice cubes. Trust that.
Right. I love that.
And I can get you something out of this other right.
Right. I love that point you made.
Though, like,
yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say,
go ahead.
I love that point you made, just about, in some respects, like we need to help ourselves. Like you as a Black woman, pursuing music and your passions, you as a Black woman, doing your own venture, having your own vision to open your restaurant, you helping yourself is what helps uplift the community. Because while that's just the way, in my opinion, the way the universe works, like, as we're in this collective experience, like when you as an individual uplift yourself, I mean, people are going to hear this podcast and say, wow, look at Erika. I can do that. They're going to walk by Fats and say, wow, I can do that. When we elevate ourselves individually and stick to the course that the universe has for us, then that's how we awaken the masses. And so I'd love to hear more about how like your passion for music intersected with that. I know you just started touching on it. You were emcee for the Seattle hip hop group Beyond Reality. So I'd love to hear more about that because I feel like that probably, that love for music got that passion and that fire in you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but that also, like I said, it really does start at home, but being alive when hip hop was born was huge, right? It wasn't a genre of music that already existed before I came, right? So I was already alive and hip hop was born. So it was something like as it was growing, I was growing. So when it grew, I grew with it. And it's something I understood. It's something that spoke to me. Some things speak to people completely different. But for me, I always knew that was something I wanted to be involved in. So by the time I got into my 20s, I got after me and Jonathan met, and we started doing stuff. I wasn't even recording music. He had Source of Labor, had met Vitamin D, they had, vitamin in the pharmacy. And it was like the Seattle hip hop scene at that time was growing again. Because in the 80s, there were things that were going on, but it wasn't really like, it didn't sustain. So kind of died down. But then it picked back up again because you had different crews, you had a different generation of youth that were in high school, and the hip hop culture was still alive. And because they were in high school, they were doing stuff based around that. And we were a few years older, but we had already been exposed to the same thing they had been exposed to, yet they were younger, and then it was just all connected. Once again, that's the universe bringing everything together. If you stay true to your path and what it is that you want to do, the doors are going to open up. The universe is always going to make it happen. I know there's been multiple times, and any artist can think of these. You sit up and you write these lyrics, but you haven't recorded it yet. And then you hear some other artists say some of the same phrases. You be like, what? That ain't just for you. Be up about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when it's super quiet. That's when the best stuff comes. So I will wake up out of my sleep sometimes and always have a notepad next to the bed. Me and Jonathan will always do that. And we wake up and we just start writing, right? Because you think that when it comes to you, when you wake up, you go remember it. And the first time it happened, you always don't remember because it was so like, oh yeah, I ain't gonna forget this. I woke up and I was just like, oh my God, forgot. After that, no pad. Just in bed, and when I would wake up, I would just write. So it's like the universe is feeding you this energy, it's feeding you this word, feeding you these feelings. And at that time, we're building a scene that artists who are still performing in the Seattle hip hop scene today owe me a check. I'm just saying, they owe some of the OGs a check. But we'll talk about that later. That's a whole different podcast.
Maybe they'll hear it.
They'll hear it. They'll be like, it's time to run Erika the money.
You just go ahead and just drop it off to me at the restaurant. You ain't got to say nothing.
Just put on the binder.
I take cash. That way we ain't got to pay the government. Anyhow, it was a whole it was a feeling, right? And it was bubbling. And we took what we were doing in the Central District from Langston Hughes to little spots in the CD to downtown Seattle to opening up for like national artists. And at the time, there was a few female MCs. I was really prominent on what we were doing because I was in the crew of how we were working. I was really like the only female MC until like Pizza Soul started coming around, or it's like Spicy, Soul Shit, different female artists, here and there doing stuff. But as far as like performing, like I'm out there, I'm performing, I'm walking. It got to the point where it was me and my best friend from high school at the time. We started at school and created that name in high school, right? This is in 86, 87. And in the beginning, she was doing music, and then she kind of like faded out. Then it was just me. So once again, it's all me, by myself. We had this show we was going to do at the Crocodile Cafe. And she wasn't making it to rehearsals, but I still rehearsed. And I was like, if she don't end up showing up, I still got the show because our name is on the bill. And from then, I never forget the show. They had these stamps. You go to a show, you give a stamp. At that show was whatever. Ooh, confirmation again. It's like whatever. I feel like she's not going to show up. Already going to rehearse. Me and Kamikaze, we already rehearsed. We got our set together. There's like 3 or 4 microphones on the stage, but it was just me and Kamikaze. And I utilized like the microphones as I was doing my thing and just got in the moment. The culture of hip hop has always led me to do what I'm doing now, even to have the confidence that I have now. And so, in that moment, I knew that I depend on me. It's not about depending on someone else to make your dreams come true. If it's your dream, you can dream things for other people, but when it's your dream, you got to do what you got to do to make it come true. You can't sit there and be worried about anyone else helping you make it come true. So that night when she didn't show up, whatever. And that was the stamp. And then I wrote a song called Whatever. I was so inspired the next day. I was just like, let's go. But, it was a amazing time in like hip hop history, hip hop in Seattle, just the energy and the vibrance and everything that was going on. No contest. Like we was like doing it, like and having a good time and working jobs to support our dreams. And then our parents, well, they help us out. Here's a little something. You believe what y'all doing. We walk up and down Broadway. We went to a cassette tape. Mind you, when cassette tapes were still out, CDs, all the different things. When we had a show, we would go to Kinko's and print flyers before we got a computer at home and a printer. We go to Kinko's, print the flyers, walk down the street, walk all over downtown. Hey, we got a show coming up. Here, come check us out. Printing T-shirts. Just understood that we were the commodity and how to sell ourselves to the people, right? From the performance, from them understanding that hip-hop is the culture, being the MC, that's just a part of the culture. The culture of hip-hop is all the elements. We're just one part of the element. We would, on our show, we would have incense burning, percussion, like we all African, like we bringing all the roots in. Like our ancestors, we do it to make our ancestors proud. I ain't doing it to make these fools proud. So even today, what I'm doing is making my ancestors proud. What I'm doing at that is making my ancestors proud. I'm not doing it for the acceptance of anyone else who don't want to accept stuff that they don't want to accept. I can't force feed you to accept who I am. Like you might not like to marry to a woman. Y'all think that's your business, not my business. If you would taste some of her cuisine, you'd be like, oh my God, Lord Jesus, how can I, you know what I mean? But then that's not why I'm married. I'm just saying there's perks. There's perks for whoever you choose to whoever you want to be with, right? So the culture of hip hop is just the essence of who I am. I always felt like, I grew up with my family, but hip hop raised me. You know what I mean? The culture raised me to who I am. It gave me the confidence to be who I am. It gave me the confidence when people walk in and be saying some slick stuff. And I'd be just as slick with them. They'd be like, oh, shit, you done match my crazy. You damn right. Because what you're not going to do is come in here and be disrespectful. Because I'll handle you up to the point where I got to call, you know what they say in Atlanta? When they say Hootie, and the kitchen go, who? You, over there. Don't have me say Hootie. Now the kitchen crew come out because they ready to fight somebody. They're back there cooking and stuff. They ready to beat somebody up. And for the most part, it don't be going down like that. We have had some situations where people get to acting silly, and then we have to just, chin check them real quick. Let them know East Cherry it's real, and this ain't no gentrified restaurant, contrary to what you believe. And I did see that article. Well, let's go over the email that Mudede wrote. When he wrote that, I was in my feelings about that because I was like, that's the wrong heading for it. I understood why he wrote gentrification done right, but I just didn't like it because of the time and what was happening. And there was one more thing that I had to deal with. Again, I understood why he wrote it, but he didn't even understand what was happening. He just knew markets, and so therefore he just put them together, right? So I mean, as a journalist, I get it, but it's been just the culture of just growing up Black, the culture of hip hop, the culture of music, and just the culture of just being representing what you feel, who you are. I embody that. Like when Beyonce said, "Give me body," that's what she body. You get bodied out here, right? And not like wrapped up and like just straight up body. Like I know who I am, and I'm so comfortable on my skin. It might make somebody else uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, that's
not my problem.
Yeah, no, actually, I think it's just great to hear about how you developed your confidence through not only your music career, but also just navigating the restaurant industry. And I hear that, like, you built the self-efficacy, but also, like, that's hustle culture that you get from hip-hop, right? Like, that I can do this. This is the vision I have for myself. And you stuck to that vision. You kind of just, honed in and focused in on what you wanted to do. And you didn't allow people to interfere with your goals. And I think that is so important for our listeners to understand, is that someone might not understand what you want to do. And that doesn't matter. Like you said, like it only matters what you feel is best for you and what your capabilities are, and truly believing in that. And you talked about how you were, so confident in what you wanted to do early on, and you didn't allow people to distract you or deter you from that goal. But did you ever face any adversity or kind of a rock bottom at any point where you were kind of doubting, like, do I actually do this? Is this for me? Or were you always just kind of set on that path of, I know I want this and it's going to work?
Well, both. I always know that I always knew there was something that I wanted, but even to this day, having a successful business, I still have that thing like, oh man, like I don't know what it is. I feel like if you ever lose that, then you lose yourself. Whenever I would perform, as many times as I got up on the stage and performed, I always felt a little bit nervous before I got up and performed. When you lose that, you lose a sense of why you are doing what you're doing. There's always going to be that self-doubt, but it never takes control of my vision. It never takes control of what it is I want to do. I might doubt what I'm feeling a little bit, like, oh my God, and I'm like, you've been doing this. Why are you doing that to yourself? I don't know, because I'm human. So that does exist, like I said, even to this day. But it becomes the confidence when you walk into the space that you've created for yourself and that you created for other people to enjoy, that allows you to just sit back and enjoy it. And I think that's probably what it is. It's like you enjoy what you do, but I don't always want to feel so overconfident that it's like, oh, it's about me. I think that's the humility that ends up happening when I feel like that. It's like the humbling to what's been given to you. Yes, I've wanted it because it's a want. And so I tell my daughter, I'm like, there's wants and there's needs. And I would tell my son this too, like, there's wants and there's needs. Like, you might want this, but you need it. You need to do this, because if you do what you need to do, you'll have everything that you want. And that's where I was at. I was more like taking care of what you need to do. And all the things that you want is going to happen. But you can't do all the things that you want and get the things that you need. That's not how it works, right? So I'm always like, man, I need to do this and do that, take care of this, take care of that. So to this day, I still have very humbling experiences that allows me to be grateful for what it is that I do have. Yeah, there's always going to be that. I mean, I feel like when you lose that, you start losing yourself. And then you start feeling like you're bigger than what you've been given. I don't ever feel like I'm bigger than what I've been given. I feel like I'm grateful for what I've been able to experience in life. You know, we talk to my son, I talk to people at times, and I tell him, I'll be like, you know, at 54, I can look back and be like, man, I actually got a little story to tell. I've done some things, and I've done them good. You know, I wanted to do music. I did it. Boom. Transfer from that. I wanted to own a restaurant. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, well, I want to do that. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, what's the next goal? You know, how can I get there? That's what, if I can say to anyone out here that's a dreamer, like, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't let someone else discourage you. You know, build yourself around people that are encouraging, that are like-minded, people that might not have the same vision as you, but they have vision. Therefore, they're inspiration to you. These are the things that every individual needs. Every individual needs that. You know, if you're in a relationship with someone, if they're abusive, and you stay in it, then you're choosing to abuse yourself. If they're abusive to you verbally, physically, or any sort of way, if you don't remove yourself from that and get to a space where you can feel safe and see yourself outside of where you were, then you're just gonna stay there, right? You have to see yourself somewhere else. That's your vision. So whatever you've been blessed with, whatever that innate ability is that we've all been given something, some people have multiple things, tap into that. And don't be afraid of it. Tap into meditation. You know, take some time in the morning to just like set yourself before you go out to the day. I have bells that are at my door that I say, you know, just for energy, just good energy. Take it before I leave and when I come back in. You know what I mean? So I want that to go out before I go out. And when I come back, I want to bring back in and shake off all the stuff that I just took into the day. You know, I don't want to bring that into the home. Sometimes, you know, me and my wife, because we work together, we'll sit back and be like, man, table 7, whoa, Lord. You know what I mean? We'll do that. But it's like the balance. Like, find the balance for you that's going to allow you to grow to be the best you possible. You know, and that's all you can do. Really, that's all you can do. I have a song on my album, like the album that I put out prior to iTunes and Apple merging. I put it out on iTunes. I uploaded it through iTunes, so now it's on Apple Music. So it's, you know, my group was Beyond Reality. I put out one solo album called A Soul's Journey, and you can get that album downloaded right now for free. And I have this song on there called You, you know, and it's really about like you know, believe in yourself and all your dreams will come true. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's just me. I can't write something that I didn't actually believe in. And so once you believe in you, that's all that matters, you know, and the people that love you and support you, they're going to show up. The people that don't, they'll show up too. But the thing is, don't be influenced by the ones who don't support you. Follow the ones that will support you and be proud of what you've always stayed true to. And one thing I hear today that I hear from a lot of people that I've known for like 40 years, 30 years or whatever, they're like, you know, they're like, one thing to show about you is that you have always stayed true to who you were. So even being younger, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm attracted to women. You know, I'm attracted to guys. I'm attracted to women too. You know, like, and you know, hey, you can't really be doing all that. You know what I mean? And so then eventually I had to be true to who I was, right? And people have embraced me, my family, you know, I've been married a couple times, you know, my mama, she's been at both weddings, you know, she's been very supportive, you know, and that's different because there's a lot of people that don't have that support from their family. And I can understand how that would be very devastating to not have your family support you for who you were or who you are. But I think my family always seen a part of that being who I am. And then when I was able to fully embrace myself, they were able to be like, okay, congratulations. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing because not a lot of people can get that from your family. And I'm very grateful that my family loves who I love.
That's beautiful. And that sounds like a...
Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, you can go
I
ahead.
was just going to say the same thing. Like, I just thought that was so beautiful. And I just am so happy to hear that you had that support system. And, it is unfortunate that so many people don't have that, but you can cultivate that with who you surround yourself with. Like you said, those people that believe in you, they'll always show up for you and they'll always be there and they'll love you for who you are. So just stay true to you, and the right people will always surround themselves around you. So thank you for sharing.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue into our last question, just staying true to you. It's something we ask all of our guests that we have on that are willing to speak to us. What does Blackness mean to you? And how do you, embrace your Blackness? It's a broad question. It can go many different directions. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that is the beauty of it. And I think, like, I kind of summed it up in everything I'm saying. Like, I've always just, and just embracing who you are. Like, you're born who you are. So if you're born Black, you're born Black. But you can't let how other people perceive your Blackness to define your Blackness. You define your Blackness by what you do, right? And how you present yourself. So because I'm Black, I'm presenting in this body. But my energy and who I am is bigger than my Blackness. I'm just a Black woman, and my spirit is big. My spirit don't have no color. It just doesn't. Like, I tap into that part that's just like, okay, I chose you to be the expression that I want to express. I chose you. Okay, and so I'm Black. That's and my spirit's like, well, I ain't. So stay true to you. I don't care what color you are. Stay true to what your spirit is showing you. Like, take some time to tap into you. I get up in the morning and I'll be like, man, you're pretty fly. I'm like, damn right. Damn right. I wouldn't want to be nobody else but me.
Exactly. That's self-love, no matter who you are, where you come from. I personally believe we're all here on a soul journey, and that's the game of life, is finding out what your journey is.
A Soul's Journey. That's the name of my album.
We're gonna look it up. We'll find the album. We'll make sure to include it. On all our posts.
You put that in there for the people to go ahead and download.
We will.
If you got Apple Music, you can get it for free.
Yeah.
So that's real talk. And there's a very last song of the album called A Soul's Journey with Felicia Loud. That's my homegirl from back in the day, Garfield. Bulldogs. I represent.
We're going to plug that for sure.
And we are going to listen too.
Please listen to it. And y'all got my email. Hit me up.
We will.
And we'll let you know what we think. No, because that's real stuff. And I can tell by just the way you are expressing your journey, and, you being authentic and writing your own music. I'm personally interested because what you're saying, I've been on this spiritual journey and I feel like I needed this. I needed to hear this from you today. Like, I feel like this was a part of my soul's journey, was to get that. Yep. To get this.
That's the universe. That's what I'm saying. The universe is big. It will bring whatever it is that you need. I've had multiple times, different situations where I might be just feeling whatever I'm feeling. I'm out in public and somebody just walk by and say exactly what you need to hear. We need to hear it. You look at them like, and they look back at you and they keep walking. And that's what I know. That's when I knew God was big and when the spirit is huge. And it's just like, you don't need that. Like, how'd you even know? You just keep on going. Like, okay. I've seen it. I've seen it in my years of living from different people. I've witnessed it. I felt it. You know what I mean? Like, and so for you to say that, and it's even at the end, like, I'm like, oh no, that's the name of my album. Like, because that's what it was for me. I was on my journey. This album was, a compilation of my thoughts and my energy and feelings and all these different things. This is a soul's journey. That was my soul's journey through this. And my soul is still having a journey. I have a beautiful 84, soon to be 84-year-old mama. You know what I mean? Like, that's her, she has her great journey. She still, to this day, works. Not because she needs to, but because she's in her 80s and she wants to stay active. That's her journey, right? We all have our own individual journeys that we are on. And if you happen to have beautiful people that you can share that with, boy, that's a blessing. And I say one thing for birthday, we had that was my male soulmate. We had a great journey together. We have a beautiful son who's 25, Upindu Kalasi, who lives in LA. He's doing music. He's just doing him. He's enjoying life, right? That's the journey of the soul. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to connect with somebody who you can grow with. That's a beautiful thing. And if you can do it by yourself without needing someone, and then as you're on that journey, you find someone you can grow with, watch how it works. Watch how it works. Hit me in a year. Watch how fast a year goes.
Oh, I'm going to hit you in a year.
It goes so fast.
You got my information. Just hit me up. If you just, for real, I'm stressing this to both of y'all. If you ever just want to talk and just build, I'm always here. I love to talk. I love to share. It's like, you got to share the information with people because there's a lot of stuff that's buried in graves because they never were allowed the opportunity to express themselves. Yeah. And what I refuse to do is to allow anything to be buried that I won't put out. They'll probably die because I got one more thing to say. Okay, let me.
We're so appreciative of you just sharing so much of your life with us. I can just feel like you radiate joy, honestly, like through this screen. So I'm just like, I'm so grateful to be sitting here with you because I've honestly taken so much of these words of inspiration for myself and you have really impacted me in just this hour. And I cannot wait for people to listen into this because I know that they're going to resonate as well. So.
I appreciate you guys thinking of me for real, 206 Seattle represent E White all night on the microphone at the restaurant. We sending you love, peace, and energy, and always just be the best you. I have a thing on our screen. So I think I'm gonna say it's like you woke up today.
Yes.
It's up to you to do whatever you want to do. You can make it good or bad, but you woke up today, and there's somebody who didn't wake up today. So take this day. If you're feeling sad and down for a little bit, take a little bit of time, give it a little bit of energy, but try not to let that take over your whole day. Find some joy. Go to the water. Shit. Have you ever got up early in the morning to watch the sunrise? Especially in the summertime, I love doing that. Just like get up, 5 o'clock, go down to the water, Lake Washington, and watch that. And then see it's right over the mountain, so you can't really see it. And when it comes through and you start seeing the water ripple, that ain't nobody but God. Boy, I tell you, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's those little things, those little moments of gratitude really, make life beautiful.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you guys thinking about me.
Of course, yeah.
I look forward to hearing the podcast.
We will definitely be stopping into Fats. And we're excited. We're not just saying that we will.
We're not just saying it.
And we're coming on DJ nights, so you're going to see us.
Yeah, hey, starting this Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. What's good Wednesday? We got specials, rotating DJs every Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. Fast chicken and waffles. Be there or be square, as we used to say back in the day.
There we go.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it.
We are so grateful for your support, and thank you for listening to Identity Unboxed.
Authenticity is your guide to cast an impact on the world that you will be proud of. Signing off with pride, Tiana
and Brad.
Thank you so much.